Most people think you need a massive social media following to raise thousands of dollars, but that doesn't have to be the case. The secret to having a successful fundraiser without going viral is by getting personal. My name is Megan. I work at GoFundMe, and I've been studying successful fundraisers for years now. In this video, I'm going to take you through getting personal, finding your champions, and other tips for success that don't require hundreds of thousands of followers. Let's start with the basics: what you're fundraising for and how you're telling people about it. The key to any successful fundraiser is a story that inspires people to donate. You'll want to be sure your story has a few things: details, vulnerability, urgency, and space to invite the donor into your narrative. First, details. Set the foundation for your fundraiser by sharing exactly what you're raising money for. Are you fundraising for a new puppy? Great. Include a breakdown of how you'll use funds. $50 for a kennel, $200 for the first vet visit, and so on. Clarity and specificity encourage trust, and that's how you'll get people to donate. Second, be a little vulnerable with your supporters. Your fundraiser is more than just a monetary transaction. At its core, a fundraiser is a chance to ask for help. Start the conversation by being open about your feelings and why you started the fundraiser. This also adds to the trust you've established by including details about how you'll use the funds. Now you're inviting donors to know you personally as well. Share your feelings, your hardships if you've had them, and what reaching your goal would mean to you. Third, add in a sense of urgency. We all know how easy it is to put off a task until tomorrow, or the next day, or the next day. So include some built-in timeframes that will encourage supporters to donate now instead of later. You can do this in a couple of ways. GoFundMe already has automated goal setting where it will increase your goal as you receive donations. Partner with that feature to drive new donations. Say something like, let's work to meet this next portion of the goal by the end of the week. Alternately, you can incorporate how you'll be using the funds to create urgency as well. Let's say you're raising money for your next semester of school. Let supporters know when your tuition payment is due and encourage them to donate before then so you can meet the deadline. Timelines and urgency are a great way to motivate supporters to take that next step and make a donation. And finally, invite your supporters into the narrative of your fundraiser. The facts are that fundraisers can't exist without donors. They are an integral part of your success, and making them feel a part of your story is incredibly important when you're asking them to donate and to help promote your fundraiser. You can invite them into your story by literally calling them out in your fundraiser story, letting supporters know that you know this wouldn't be possible without them. It's also a good idea to include a call out that they can come to you with any questions about your fundraiser. If there's any confusion about your cause, being available to clear it up is key. Continue to include supporters and donors in your story by sending thank you notes to those who have donated and posting updates to keep everyone in the loop. As your fundraiser develops and you start using the funds, let everyone know how their support and contributions are making a difference. If you want to get into even more tips for your best fundraiser page, check out our other video, Start a GoFundMe the Right Way. Okay, you've prepped your fundraiser page. Now let's talk about how getting personal and focusing on relationships rather than large social followings can help you reach your goal. You're going to identify 5 people who can be your fundraiser champions. These people might not even donate, although hopefully they do, but their role will be to help you in telling your story and sharing your fundraiser with their own networks. They aren't just supporters, they're partners with you in your cause. Because you don't need a crowd, you need a cohort of dedicated advocates. Ideally, they'll feel a sense of ownership over your fundraiser and can enthusiastically help you reach your goal. It's also important to remember that these champions aren't just going to be the 5 people you're closest with in your life. Instead, try finding 5 people you know from different areas of your life and partner with them to penetrate deeper into that area and those personal relationships to reach even more potential supporters. To find these champions, consider the different areas of your life where you interact with distinct groups of people. You can consider your gym, your place of worship, your book club, your rec sports league, your former classmates, and so on. There are so many different groups you interact with on a regular basis. Reach out to someone you're close to in each sphere, tell them about your fundraiser, and specifically ask them to help you outreach to your mutual group of contacts. GoFundMe also has quite a few features that make partnering with your champions even easier. First, once they're on board to help with your fundraiser, you can invite them to be co-organizers on your GoFundMe. As co-organizers, they can post updates to the fundraiser page, which will help you keep donors in the loop, and they can send personal thank you messages. That way, they can personally engage with supporters they've brought to your fundraiser. They can also track their impact with unique share links. So long as they're signed into their GoFundMe account, every time they share your fundraiser, they'll be sharing a unique share link. This tracks how many supporters they've inspired and how many donations they've helped raise. These features can help them feel ownership and impact for your fundraiser. It's tangible evidence that their efforts are making a difference. Now that you've got your champions, let's talk sharing strategy. You're going to work with your champions to share personal messages and donation requests with their mutual group of potential supporters. You'll want to do some prep work here so your co-organizers can feel empowered to share on your behalf with people they know. Start by putting together an outreach toolkit for each target group. Let's say one of your champions is going to help you outreach at your local gym. Provide them with information like how long you've been a member at the gym, how you felt safe and empowered at the gym, and a list of people you've become close with during your time there. Also, provide them with details about your fundraiser, like what you're fundraising for. They should already know since they decided to help. How you're feeling about running the fundraiser, how you'll use the funds, or if you've already started to use the funds, share a list about what you've already purchased or used them for. These details should help them answer any questions from potential supporters as they share about your cause. Next, you want to come up with a sharing plan and have a few specific requests for your co-organizers. For example, you could ask them to print and post QR code flyers for your GoFundMe at the gym. You can ask them to DM any gym buddies they have to let them know about the fundraiser. And you can also ask them to make a few posts on their personal social media accounts, letting others know about your fundraiser. Whether it's an Instagram story, a TikTok, or an X post, wherever they feel comfortable sharing will be a great way to get your fundraiser story out to wider circles of connections. Our advice is to come up with a plan that has your co-organizers sharing about your fundraiser 1 to 2 times a week. In conjunction with partnering with your co-organizers to share with their networks, you'll also want to share with your own networks at the same time. Remember, you don't have to go viral for this to work. So definitely share on your social media platforms, but also consider posting QR code flyers on local bulletin boards, emailing or texting your contacts, and DMing friends and acquaintances. Because texts and DMs are private, you can be a bit more personal in your approach, which is the secret sauce to this fundraising strategy. Personal outreaches also allow you to bypass the noise of a social feed. It's easy to scroll right past a public post, but it's just that little bit harder to ignore someone reaching out to you directly. So when you're reaching out directly, share some details about your fundraiser that invites them to be a part of the solution. If you have a shared past, call on that in your request for support. Remind them about you, the person behind the fundraiser that they would be supporting. And always remember to include gratitude. Like I mentioned before, fundraisers don't work without supporters, so let them know how much their support would mean to you. At this point, you've been establishing the foundation of your fundraiser. You've locked in on a story that shares your experience and invites supporters to join you on your fundraiser journey. You've found your champions to help you reach deeper into different community groups, and you've set out some sharing strategies to follow as you work towards your goal. Now let's talk about turning those foundations into sustainable momentum. Remember, these strategies are focused on developing relationships with specific groups of people, rather than relying on a large social following. One way you can turn a one-time donor into sustainable momentum is to utilize recurring donations. GoFundMes can support one-time donations and monthly recurring donations. And as you share with different groups and develop relationships between you, your cause, and new people, you can explore asking supporters to contribute monthly. Oftentimes, it helps to ask for smaller monthly donations that feel more sustainable over time. So, for example, instead of a one-time $100 to $200 donation, maybe they contribute $25 a month for the duration of your fundraiser. Depending on your need, you may need a larger amount of funds more quickly. But if you have space to continue to run your fundraiser over a period of time, then monthly donations can be a great opportunity to engage your supporters and develop buy-in from a smaller group of people. I'll link GoFundMe's Help Center article about running a fundraiser with recurring donations so you can learn more. If you decide to ask for recurring donations, you definitely need to be thinking about long-term engagement. These people are deciding to stick with you month after month, so you need to make sure they continue to feel invested in your fundraiser journey and that they feel appreciated. Here are a couple of ways you can keep recurring supporters engaged. First, make sure you're sending them a personalized thank you note every month. Include their name, their donation amount, and a little bit about how their funds are supporting your cause. Second, shout out your recurring donors in a monthly update. Think about how YouTube creators or podcast hosts often read off the names of their monthly subscribers. This is the same idea. You're publicly calling out the individuals who are investing in your fundraiser over the long term. Third, ask your recurring supporters to leave comments or words of support on your fundraiser page. They can share a bit about why they chose to support on a monthly basis, and it might even inspire other donors to support monthly as well. And finally, take to social media to thank all of your supporters, but also to call out your monthly supporters. Tag them in posts about your fundraiser's progress and let them know it wouldn't be happening without them. Opportunities for continued engagement and expressing your gratitude is how you'll keep up sustainable momentum as you work towards your fundraising goal. Now, you might be asking yourself, will these tips actually work? And I think we can see proof of their viability in trends around how communities are shaping themselves today. We're seeing a rise in micro-influencers and a desire for authenticity. People want something they can feel a part of, and by building your fundraiser strategy around smaller, specific communities, you can more easily build relationships with people who are more likely to support you, especially if they've already connected to you in some way. Sure, maybe more people could see your fundraiser if you just blast it across all of social media, but ask yourself, would you be more likely to donate to a fundraiser you randomly come across on Instagram or to one your friend or gym buddy told you about? Social media sharing is still going to be a part of your fundraiser journey, but the foundation should be based in relationships and slowly expanding into wider circles of acquaintances. So, to wrap up, to make your most successful fundraiser without going viral, you need a solid fundraiser story with lots of details and that acknowledges donor and supporter roles in your success. You need champions to help you share your fundraiser with the different communities you belong to. You need a sharing strategy that targets each specific group and emphasizes direct, personal messages, and a plan for sustainable momentum that keeps supporters engaged for the long haul. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you're looking for more fundraising ideas or tips, check out GoFundMe's YouTube channel for more helpful videos.